Every now and then. It is summer, and my chat is restored. It's summer, so we want to be able to talk to folks and get folks where they need to be, right? Yep, it's summer. So anybody out there? I know you are. I know you are. I see that you are uh, talking and so on. And we want to be able to interact with you and get folks back on to where we want them to be, right? So look at all the stuff that's going on around us. And good morning and so on. So how have you been doing? Today's Thursday. So the summer finally has arrived. So we're still like getting into summer mode and doing all the things that we do. And summer. That's all I can say. So summer. Finally. So we're having good days. Yes, good days. Today is going to be a good one, even though it will rain today. That's great because yesterday, here's the thing with us living in the Midwest. We're so accustomed to temperatures in the 50s and the 60s that when it does hit 80, you're sweating like, oh my God, it's so hot. You step outside and you're like, oh, it's too hot. So, once it gets to the upper 70s, we're good. I like it at the upper 70s for summer. That's as hot as it needs to get. When it gets to trips over into the 80s, like yesterday, it went up to 84. I was literally like, oh my goodness. And then I remembered winter. So during winter, I had promised myself that when it comes to summer, it would be tatas out, toes out, everything out. Not quite. Not quite. So don't drive around looking for me, but I do try to, keep it real and keep it going and try to keep it because it's interesting. And what is amazing is how your skin performs under different circumstances. Have you guys noticed that? So in the summer, your skin feels better. It's softer because it's breathing. I don't know. In the winter, we have this artificial heat that dries out everything in you, dries out your throat, dries out everything, right? But in summer, you just get to. I wish it could just be 70 degrees all year round. And what I like about living in this part of the Midwest, in the upper Midwest where I live in Michigan, what I like about it is that I never have to worry about hurricanes, tornadoes. What's that? Who? I bind it. No, don't come near here. Tornadoes hardly come this way. That's part of Michigan, right? And we don't get hurricanes, earthquakes. See what I mean? So when you look at the big picture, our good days outweigh our bad days. And it encourages you to stay. Now, you can visit other parts of the country for sure and go to other parts of the country and carry on and be goofy and all that kind of stuff. But here, it is what it is. So I like it. I really, really like it. Now, only if it could stay 50s. Let's say it gets to winter and it's 40 degrees. That's acceptable. Because here in Michigan, when it gets to 40 degrees, we wear what we call a jacket, right? And some people at 40 degrees even wear. That's true. Some people at 40 degrees even wear flip flops. We've seen that, shorts and flip flops, right? 30 degrees. I've seen crazy people even at that wear that. But basically, it's just. It is what it is. So it is what it is. Thank God. So we don't have to worry about tornadoes or extreme flooding like we're seeing in other parts of the country. My goodness, people in Oklahoma and so on. My heart literally grieves for you. To see people go through that. I can't imagine what that is like. So how are you all doing? It's great to be here. It's nice to see you all, right? As you can see in the background, if you're asking me what's going on, you can see that is our poster with the Exodus Foundation. That's what we do. We provide services to victims of human sex trafficking, adult females, victims of human sex trafficking who have been left homeless or rendered homeless and helpless as a result of their victimhood, as a result of the trafficking that brought victimhood to their lives. That's what we do. So the ExodusFoundation.com is where you can find information about what we do. And then, of course, behind that is the poster advertising my book, Through the Fire, which was published some years ago, which is available on Amazon.com and BarnesandNoble.com. And over here, you can see the other poster for Musings of the Spirit. Musings of the Spirit talks about, it's an inspirational book. So it helps you to get through the day, right? We talk a lot about prayer and meditation and how to get through it. And everybody needs a spiritual guide, right? Whether that spiritual guide is God, or whether that spiritual guide is Allah, or whether that guide to the spirit, different paths. People take different paths depending on your belief system. I respect people's beliefs. I don't believe that what you believe in is wrong. I just believe that that's what works for you. Hopefully you find your path to the truth. That's what I believe. If you find your path to the truth, then fine. I'm good with that. I find that people are searching for what they want. The people are searching for some form of truth, some standard by which they can stand. What is true, what is good, and what is interesting. I find that that's what people are looking for. So I surround myself with positivity, and people are now into positivity and radiating day and light. Surround yourself with good people. Surround yourself with positive ideas. Make sure the space that you occupy in your mind, which is where the most important battles are fought, is a positive space. So fill yourself up with positive thoughts while you're driving. Download my shows and listen to them while you're driving. You can tune it, just connect whatever devices you have. In today's cars, you click on the icon. You can go to Facebook, find them, or you can go to YouTube and find them. Just download the shows and listen to them over and over. They help you. They guide you. They provide inspiration, and they help you to do what you do, right? And then, of course, back here, I don't know if you can see behind me. I'm going to have to find a way to show. We're advertising my next book, After the Fire. That's coming out in the fall. And that is a follow-up to Through the Fire. It's kind of like a sequel. All right. Right. So we're doing it. And then if you were to go to Amazon.com, then you'll find that there's more information about the books, Visions, Musings of the Spirit, how to get those, and the film that I've appeared in, Last Words. So you can find more information about me at harrietkemmick.com, as well as on the ExodusFoundation.com, right? So today I want to talk about, me, I want to talk about life changes. And I was at an event yesterday, and I thought somebody saying hello, good morning, how are you? Thanks for joining. I was at an event yesterday, and while I was sitting there, you know how you become introspective, right? You know how you, good morning, you become sort of start looking within, right? And what had happened was it's transitions, life changes. My daughters are growing up. My children are growing up. So they're no longer young children. They're growing up. My oldest daughter has graduated college. She's graduated law school. Yes, I'm old enough. I wasn't a teen mom, but thank you anyway. And God bless people who had to start that young. Thank God. And so I was listening to somebody else's story, and I was listening to my daughter's take on it. And I thought I'd share with you this morning what it means to be, what divorce does and how divorce happens. Because I find today that we are perhaps a little too casual about our marriages. We enter into marriage with some idea that this is a fairy tale. And then when something happens that breaks the fairy tale existence or the fairy tale idea or myth, then we think we should leave it alone. And I want to talk about that because I want to talk about the ways in which the separation and the divorce happens and what it does to the children. And so that's why I preface this by saying I'm going to tell you my story. So I want to tell you how divorce sucks. Say divorce sucks. Divorce sucks, major. And I wish that none of us would ever have to get divorced. I pray you never have to. I hope you never have to. We can all say, well, start out by marrying the right person. Well, if we have this, well, if we have that, if we start out by having the right house, if we start out by having the best house, if we start out by, let me do certain things. So I want to put it all together and go through it bit by bit for you, so that you know that if this is what you are doing, then I don't want you to feel that you're doing something wrong, or that it didn't work for you because you did something wrong. So I want to go through it bit by bit. And here's where I'm coming from. So my daughter is now 26, right? My oldest daughter. My youngest daughter is 16. They're 10 years apart. So raising them was a bit of a challenge, because there were two different generations. One was millennial and one is Generation Y. And you know how the Generation Ys are the ones that say, why I have to do that? Why I have to study? Why I have to this? Why I have to that? Not my daughter, but that's how they are. And what has happened, I was listening to my children a few days ago, and I just, when you get to that stage where you just listen, sometimes you really just listen. I sat there and listened to them talk about their own lives and what happened to them as a result of the adversity that divorce brought to us. Let me tell you what happens in divorce. Two people meet, fall in love, or they get together for whatever reason, and they decide to stay together. They decide that this is something that they want to do. I'm removing my jewelry. Strange, right? And so in deciding that this is something they want to do, they get together. Then children become a part of the equation, right? And now you live together. So now you're not getting along, and you're so not getting along, you decide that the best way out of this is divorce. We become, I'm just telling you the truth, that's how we all are as human beings. We become egotistic, and it's my way or the highway. Sometimes one person wants it's my way. Sometimes it's one person's fault. It's the other person's fault. Sometimes there are various reasons why people become divorced, but we're talking about me. So in my story, it was violence that got me divorced. For some people, one partner cheated. For some people, another partner didn't work, which means people were just incompatible from the beginning, right? And for most others today, guess what? The biggest problem is they're what? Incompatible. They fight about money. They fight about how they're going to spend money. That's a real issue. People fight about how they're going to spend money. And then you go to divorce court. Anybody ever been in divorce court? And you hear the human drama of humanity. You hear the drama that was in the bedroom, the drama that was in the living room, the dining room, the bathroom, played out for all the world to see and hear in a courtroom. Nobody is going to recover from that, because now their whole business is said in front of other people who are total strangers who are now privy to it. Because for you to get a private chamber divorce, you have to pay your lawyers for that. You have to have some good lawyers who are just going to have the judge listen in chambers. More often than not, it just takes place in wide open court, a process that's so dehumanizing and humiliating that by the time the divorce is, all you want to do is sign the papers and just get the heck out of there, right? So, and the process is designed that way, so if you marry again, you never want to re-enter that or go through that. That's what it's designed to do. They're making it hard. They should make it harder for people who just get divorced on a whim. Some people just get up and say, I don't want to do this anymore. What don't you want to do? You have children, and people's lives are intertwined with yours. What do you mean you don't want to do this anymore? So I'm telling you my story. So this is me played out in this, right? And for the life of me, I could never, when I was forced, when I realized that I could not live with my ex-husband anymore, I didn't know what I was going to do. I had not a clue. My life was so intertwined with his, right? What was I going to do with children? How was I going to raise them? How was I going to feed? Forget raising. Raising sounds like a heck of a long time. What was I going to feed them with? Then, of course, assets got distributed. So he transferred everything that he could lay his hands on. So he was planning for it before. I was too busy being beaten up and trying to survive to think about that. He had transferred what he could while I was distracted. So the money that should have sent my daughter to college, that was in a college fund, got distributed. She got nothing. So when it was over, there was nothing. Believe me, there was nothing. I was free and I was safe, but I had nothing. So then I had to start life as if I were starting over, and it was not nice. I didn't like it. I didn't like how it felt. By this time, I was in my mid 30s, and I didn't feel good about it. I didn't feel like I was at the best point. Imagine that. I was in my mid 30s and felt like it was, it wasn't the place to be. So what happened was we lost our footing. So we lost our middle class and upper middle class status, if that's what you call it, and lost our positioning in the society in terms of status, in terms of social status. Something that my children never regained, something that bothered them. And I'm just saying this because just in the event that there are people out there who are listening, just so that you know, this is what divorce causes. Divorce sucks. Say divorce sucks. Sucks major. Divorce sucks. When you divorce, do you divorce the children too? The children become distributed. Have we thought about that? Have we thought about we work out a custody separation agreement? We work out a visitation schedule. Nobody asks the children how they feel because they're young, right? So the children, if they're under 8, if they're 8 and under, if they're under 12, they don't let them elocute. Or they're under 10, they don't give any consideration to what they have to say. So the children have 2 homes now. So they have 2 sets of toothbrushes, 2 sets of pajamas, because they're at 2 different houses, right? And sometimes the custodial parent gives them up for a weekend. So the other parent picks them up from Thursday evening. So he has them through Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then the weekend when he doesn't have them, he picks them up during the week to take them home. So you keep going back to the same person whom you were humiliated in divorce court with. Not a place for reconciliation. Not a place. Not a place. So what happened was divorce then set in place a series of events because now the children become observers. So the children are watching mom and dad play out the events of their lives that intertwines and intersects with the children's lives, that influences how these children will grow up and what kind of spouses or what kind of parents they will be. While we're going through it, we don't think that far into the future. You know what I was thinking? How am I going to make it? How is she going to go to college? And what is she going to think about this process when it's done? How is she going to feel about this? That's what I kept thinking. And guess what? That's exactly how she's thinking, right? So because it sucks major. Divorce really sucks. I wouldn't want it for my worst enemy. I think if you're going to get divorced, it has to be in cases where your life is in danger, right? Where you are in threat of violence. Anybody seen the story played out this week of Patrick Shanahan, the guy who was going to be Secretary of Defense? Did you see the story? The story is that his wife apparently was the aggressor in the family. She confronted him and wanted to slap him around. And he didn't want a case, so he kind of backed off. So he might have reacted, and then she called the cops. Then when the cops came, based on the evidence that they found, they determined that she was the aggressor. She didn't like that because what she really wanted was something else. Well, she moved out, he moved out, moved on, took the kids. She had custody of the kids. Guess what happened? She apparently brought the same thing to the 17-year-old son, who took a baseball to her and slapped her with a baseball bat. Then she was like, oh my God, you're taking it. But she's the aggressor, right? She's the aggressor. So that he withdrew from the confirmation process because he said that was a public spectacle and he didn't want the children to have to relive such a painful moment. And I agree. I don't talk about it. I don't comment on it because as a survivor of intimate partner violence, I know exactly what that can do to your children, right? So the children grow up in an environment after divorce where they're They have to be the intermediaries between mom and dad. So they have to choose sides, whether or not you like it. They choose sides. Then the children have to become sometimes the parent, because the parents are so busy arguing and so busy being self-centered about me, that we forget about the needs of the children. Some people send their kids away to school, right? Because somebody's saying something. Hey, love your smiling here. Thank you. Right? Some children, some parents are so caught up in themselves. After the divorce is over, they're like, man, I just want to live my life. I'll pay you to keep them. I've heard that, right? So they send the kids away to boarding school, right? Just to get the kids out of there so they can do whatever they want to do. So while the kids are away, they run around from man to man or woman to woman, depending on what they do. And the kids are away, and then they only see the kids on holidays. Oh, here comes mommy, here comes daddy. And for 2 months out of the year or 6 weeks out of the year, they get to be mom and dad, where they're focused on the kids. And then they can't wait for them to go back so they can go have their fun and live their lives again. So the kids, so you hear them say things like, well, the kids are now back in school. I can see you now. I'm free now. I can see you. The kids are back in school. I need to see you. Because when the kids were here for holiday, what they did was they spent so much time being with the kids, because they were trying to make up for the time that they were not there, right? What we fail to understand is the effect it has on the kids, but what it does to you, the person. Divorce is not pretty for none of us, right? We all have these things that we walk around with, right? Some of the happiest people I've met are people who have stayed. People are, sometimes you say, what happens? And people have stayed with the same spouse, and they look at their friends who have changed spouses, and they're like, he's no happier than when he was with the last one. He was no happier than when he was with the one before. He might as well have stayed with the first one in the first place, right? I think we're all searching for happiness. We're searching for this ethereal, unreachable goal. Happiness is momentary. Happiness is right now, in the moment, that kind of thing, right? So you go to a baseball game and you get rammed up, or you go to a football game and you're in the moment, you're happy. That's happiness. Happiness is not a constant state of being. And I find that we're not equipped to put the work in to make something called a marriage work, which is work in itself. Because first of all, I get two people from two different backgrounds, throw them in a house together, people with different ideas. So can you put up the toilet cover? Can you recap I think about it and I go crazy. I have two daughters. They are as far as the East is from the West. One is OCD, and the other one, she couldn't care less. You walk in her room and it's like a constant tornado in there. Guess who does the cleaning? If I want it clean, she's like, you can clean it, mommy, thank you, I love you. And you are like, how do you sleep in this? She finds a little space on the bed, moves the sheets over, and she gets in and she's as happy as a lark. The other one is total OCD. She looks under her bed at night. She sweeps the floor at night, runs through, you know what I mean? Cleans it, lines up everything in the closet, lines up all the shoes. And I'm like, Jesus, you are totally OCD. and you look at both of them and I'm saying to myself now, these are the after effects. Because when they were growing up, my youngest daughter is too young to remember. She was 15 months. But my oldest daughter says that our house was like a museum. The living room was there. You walked past it. The family room was where you interacted, was where the family interactions took place. The living room was over there. Don't touch it. Don't walk near the dining room. That was for special occasions. We eat in the eating kitchen, right? And so she said it was like, even my bedroom was, to this day, I still keep, like every day I make my beds. When I say I make my bed is made. My bed is decorated. Like if you walk into a furniture store and they're selling a bed, my bed is decorated. My bedroom is like that. I like it like that. So when you look at that, they're coming out of that, and you say to yourself, divorce sucks. When you think of divorce, what do you think about? You split everything. You split your assets, split your money. So the money that you were saving up, suddenly, where before you were saved up, you had $100,000 or $1 million. Now you have to split that. You have half of everything. You've been to divorce court. People fight over even the skillet. Even the skillet. Have you ever heard people say, well, that was something, that's my Williams Sonoma, and they gave it to me, they gave it to me for this, and the little things they fight about in divorce court. And this is the rest of us, like, I hope they don't call my name. I don't want to go through that. That was when I learned that you could, ask for private chambers. I'm like, I don't want to discuss this out there in public like that. But you know who enjoyed the spectacle? My ex. Oh, he wanted it all laid out. He wanted to rub my face in the dirt and rub it in. We become so vindictive. The person this is the thing that for years I'm trying to understand about our human interactions. You spend time with someone, right? Can you guys see me over here? Is this better? You can see me, right? You spend time with, is that better? I hope so, right? And you spend time with people, too much light, maybe. And then all of a sudden, guess what? It's too glaring. Okay. You spend time with people, and then all of a sudden, you don't like them anymore. I think I need to fix this. Yeah, but I can't do it now. Hopefully they can see me, right? And what happens is, we'll fix it. Yeah, we'll fix it next time. And then what happens is, this was the person, y'all, whom you used to love. This was the person whom you used to touch, make love to, cook. You delighted in their presence. They were the thing. And then now all of a sudden you hate them. You can't stand them. Right? And this is divorce. It's ugly. And it's spectacularly ugly. And then talk about the children. No, we drag other human beings into it. You realize that when we get married, when we are in committed relationships, you bring your family, your friends, a whole community. Then you get divorced and people take sides and people disappear. Some people whom you bonded with, all of a sudden you're cut off. This is why people fall into depression after divorce, because the life that they had, they get over it. I tell you a story. I'll tell you something I observed. You know this guy named Jeff Bezos happens to be one of the richest men in the world. He's valued at over, Bill Gates, and the guy from France, Bernie Arnault. He owns the Arnault fortune. They own the Louis Vuitton, and they own the car, Renault, the car thing, right? Nobody drives French cars over here, right? So those are the three men who now they're called centibillionaires. So they are valued at over $100 billion. Well, those three men, when you look at Jeff Bezos, right? He was married for a long time. And he and his wife started Amazon. So she was there from the beginning. She used to work there. At one point, they moved from New York to Seattle because Amazon is an internet business. So he moved to Seattle where a lot of these were happening, right? And they, from New York, gave up their family over there, moved to New York, moved to Seattle, started in a whole new city, built an empire. At one point, Mr. Bezos didn't like driving. So she used to drop the kids off at school and then drop him off at work. That's how close they were. Now all of a sudden they're split. Guess what? He moved back to New York. She's still in Seattle because she's a billionaire, so she can live wherever she wants, right? He moved back to New York to live. He's not going to marry the girl who broke up the marriage. And I'll explain to you why. You want to know why? Because she's representative of the sickness. can't forgive himself, the guilt, because he has to look himself in the mirror and tell himself that I lost what was valuable to me because of something that I did. I broke it. In a lot of cases, the reason we get divorced is because one of us in the relationship can't accept that it was I who broke it. I did something, whether I couldn't keep your zipper zipped, or I couldn't keep my panties on, or I couldn't stop spending, or I couldn't stop yelling. My anger got the best of me. I became uncontrollable. But nobody wants to can look in the mirror and say, it's my fault. So now you didn't realize how much being a part of that unity, that group, that twosome meant to you. It provided you with something intangible called emotional stability. It centered you and grounded you. Unknown to others, because you're a big man about town, you're a big woman about town. Oh, I'm judge, I'm lawyer, I'm doctor so-and-so. I sit on many boards. I am CEO, I'm this, I'm actor this. Look at me. Everyone says, John, you are so good. Harriet, you're this, you're that, the. But when you go home and take your clothes off, you're just John and you're just Harriet, right? And so when something happens, who are you talking to? I'm John, I'm Harriet. And what happens? You underestimate the significance and importance of what going home means. At home, there's somebody who cares. Yeah, they actually do care that you come home. At home, there's someone to talk to. At home, there's somebody who brings you a glass of water when you have a headache to take a pill. At home, there's somebody who says, did you take your meds? Did you take your vitamins? Wait a minute. Have you been to the doctor? Did you go complete the doctor's appointment? Did you go for a checkup? Do you see where I'm coming from? At home, there's somebody who says, you probably shouldn't wear that today. No, it's not your best look. Have you had a haircut lately? There's somebody who says, you need to color your hair. Oh, you're meeting with those people today. Honey, you need to put this on. You look great. At home, there's someone who cares about you. And you underestimate it. I find that this is true. Women understand that because we're the nesters, right? And the nurturers provide that. But what I've found with men is that nobody has ever sat a guy down and explained to him why he should be married or why he stays married. Nobody explained to him why. Consequently, he doesn't know. You see where I'm coming from? So what happens is he continues and doesn't understand, and he won't confess that when the relationship left him or when the marriage left, when she left, it pulled the rug out from under him, and everything that he was centered to, that kept him connected, is now gone and broken, and he feels with all the money in the world, all the money that he could want in his pockets, in his bank book, and now all of a sudden it means nothing because the one thing, what kept him centered, is gone. And he's never going to pick up the phone and call the ex and call the woman whom he divorced, the woman whom he left, the woman whom he to say that this left me. No, he's not going to do that because he's still a big man about town. She's not going to pick up the phone and call her husband to say, we shouldn't have gotten divorced so quickly. It was just a misunderstanding, because she's the judge, she's the lawyer, she's the king, the psychiatrist, the professor. She's this, she's that. Everybody's like, girl, look at you. You don't need that. That's why I tell women all the time, be careful of them friends around you who tell you to leave your man. They are jealous. Hey, women out there, are you all listening? As soon as you have an issue and you go tell them, they're like, girl, you need to leave that man alone. Girl, you can do better. Watch for that fish, that snake in the grass. Guys, it's the same thing with you. You have issues in relationships. Can I just be honest with you? We all have issues. Say that. We all have issues. In the words of my 4-year-old daughter, when she was 4, she's now 16, we all have issues. There is no relationship that is ever going to be perfect unless the person is dead. Then you can always say, oh, I love you. They never answer. They never say, yeah, were you loving me this morning when you didn't make my coffee? Were you loving me this morning when you were looking at that guy? right? So Jeff Bezos, with all his money, finds himself without a center. And guess where? He moved back to New York, bought a big house. Who is going to be there with him? All the women whom he can have, because now he's just going to flight and just fill them up just to feel something. You ever talk to a drug addict? You ever talk to people who just start off? They say, I do it just to feel something. Just to feel something. They fill their lives up just to feel something. They want to feel something. But no connection is being made. They're not connecting. Right? Sorry, y'all. Go to Facebook. Facebook is having issues. I don't know what the heck their problem is. I hate Facebook. Yes, Facebook, I hate you. Right? And so what happens is that people, the live stream ended. I had nothing to do with it. I don't know. Good morning. I don't know what happened to this. And so what happens is we become so full of it. Hello, I'm just being real. Hey, y'all. You know me by now. You follow me? You all know me. I'm just being real. I'm not trying to be anything that I'm not. Right? We all just get to this place where we refuse to say, I'm sorry. What's wrong with saying, I'm sorry? I made a mistake. I shouldn't have. I shouldn't have gone there. I shouldn't have been with that person. I made a mistake. I kid you not. I see it played out in my own life. I never thought I'd live for it to happen to me again, but it did. I thought my ex-husband was the worst person in the world. Then I met my ex-boyfriend. He was my friend. I was so in love. He cheated. And the one time, the cheating, he would never say it was too much. And remember now, I'm trying to understand what had caused his marriage to fail, because that would give me a clue as to where this was going. And he would never tell me why. I suspected it was cheating, but I didn't want to say it. I wanted him to say it, because in saying it, he would be empowering himself. I learned afterwards that it was that. So what happened was he tried to reconnect after we broke up, because he was trying to get back to that center, that grounding, that support system. Everybody has that one person who gives you that. You can have many people whom you sleep with, but guys, listen to me, especially my younger audience. There's only one person who gives you that center, that deep centeredness. You know it when you get it. And you say, this is it. So for all the running around and all the stuff, then when the rug was pulled out from under his feet, he's out there flailing like, and I'm like, no, you need to recognize that there is a person who gives you that and be truthful to it. You see where I'm coming from? You want to end up on the dump heap of life, broken, with nobody later on in life, nobody to bring you water, nobody to stand up and say nice things about you, nobody to hold your hand when you're in the hospital to say, don't leave me, I need you here, you can't go away. Nobody who makes your life meaningful. We've made divorce too easy. We've made divorce way too easy. We see divorce as a means of recovery and repair instead of exit. Divorce is final and it's an exit. Some of the things that people get divorced for, this is why, y'all, you find that people who got divorced, all of a sudden they end up back together and are sleeping with each other again and end up back together. You know why? It wasn't finished. They have unfinished business because they shouldn't have gotten divorced. You have issues. Work it out. It sucks. Divorce sucks. You don't need it. Work it out. When you listen to the issues, these are soluble issues. You want to know what my issues are? After divorce, so I had to worry about where we're going to live, what we're going to do with the children, because we had to sell the house to split it up and sell everything else to split it up. So now some people don't want to pay child support, so we never got child support. So I had to work to support myself and my children. So how am I going to save money for their college education? I kid you not. I'm telling you the truth. It's real. That's what happened. I'm not covering it up. I'm telling you what happened. So she had to go to college on a song and a prayer. Was that fair to her? No. Why? Because somebody decided that they do not want to do the work. Do you see what I'm saying? Somebody decided that I want what I want. I want control. Guys, give it up. Let's just live. Stop trying to have control. Women too. Stop trying to have control. Ladies, stop listening to your donkey ass friends who are jealous as hell and who want you to be just as broke and lonely as they are. The Lonely Hearts Club. Don't join it. Don't join it. Don't join it. Say don't join it. Don't join it. Don't join the Lonely Hearts Club. Leave it alone. Because that's all that it is. Right? Girl, what you do? You can do better than him. Over a cup of coffee? A friend of mine wrote a book called Don't Get Divorced Over Corned Beef and Cabbage. You should read it. It's instructive. It's hilarious. But it is instructive. Okay? I'm just saying that's what divorce did. Left us financially dispossessed. Talk about the emotional pain. That was something else. But then I balanced it out by saying, well, I wouldn't have lived. He was going to beat me up. Read my book, Through the Fire. Right? But the thing about it is the ways in which the disconnect happens. My stepdaughter, right, was 20. She might have been like about 21 when we got divorced. When I met her, she was like at 12 or something. So she was my child. She was like my first child. I didn't realize how much I loved her until the day she showed up on my front lawn and called me names. This is the child whom I practically raised. This is the child whom I loved, encouraged. When she and her mom were having problems, she would pick up the phone and call me. And I would say, no, we're not going to talk about that. No, love your mom. Just understand. Come, let me make you something. This is the child whom I sat down and talked with. This is the child who, when she had a boyfriend, I lived in Florida and she was in New York and she had some boyfriend talking to her. I called the police on his ass and said, get out of my daughter's apartment. He told her later he was more afraid of me than he was. He really thought I was going to come to New York and get rid of him. I warned him. I said, take yourself back to Ohio. Don't let me come up there. This was I didn't really, when I lost her as a result of the divorce, I felt like I was flailing. I felt like my arm was cut off. I loved her to this day. A few years ago, she called me and she said, do you still love me? And I said, forever. I could never stop loving her. And she said, are you proud of me? Are you proud of the woman I've become? And I said, yes. She's doing so well. It's nice to see. But the relationship was never the same because in divorce, she took her dad's side. She was my kid. So she took her dad, despite having spent serious time together. We had traveled together. We had late nights together. We had eaten together. When my daughter was born, she was a big sister to her. And she was like, well, this is my big sister. I get to be a big sister finally. And it was just, that's what divorce did. Divorce also separated me from some of his family members whom I had come to bond with. It was never the same. I felt like I had lost them. I kid you not. I'm just telling you the truth. I don't know why we're talking about this. Maybe it's for somebody out there who's contemplating getting a divorce and you need to hear this, right? Because you think it's just so easy to walk away. Folks, it's not. You lose money even if you are not interested. Because you know what's happening to us? Can I just be real? Can I just be real right here? Let me be real. You know what's happening to us? We watch too much TV. They have sensationalized and subliminally suggested to us that if you're not having great sex every night, then you shouldn't be married to whom you're married to. That's what they're telling us. They make it sound like every striking day you're going to have the best sex ever. So people are like, What am I staying with you for? You ain't that good. I can get better out there. I can go to that one. I can go to this one. And people become so casual about something so fundamental. I kid you not. It's there. You're not even realizing the effect to which we are subliminally suggestive, that advertising subliminally suggests to us and has become a guidepost for our lives. And so what happens is we end up what? We end up losing out, right? We end up losing out. Okay? And we end up in distorted lives, living out of suitcases, living lives separated, living lives where you become a weekend parent. You only see your kids on a weekend. So you start substituting that love and sense of gravity and centeredness, and you start substituting it with sex. You start substituting it with drugs, and you start substituting it with alcohol because you want to feel something, because the extent to which you're not feeling anymore is driving you crazy. And then give it 10 years, 15 years at the most. Especially if you get divorced in your 40s, give it 15 years. You end up at the doctor one day with an illness. You know where the illness came from? The illness wasn't even the drugs, nor the diet, nor the sex, nor the alcohol. The illness came from something in here that's irretrievably broken from the minute you walked away from something that meant something to you, that you refuse to acknowledge because it's not manly and it's not womanly. Because how dare you, girl? You went to school, you got your medical degree, you got your law degree, you got your MBA. You don't need a man. You don't have to do this. I kid you not. And this is me sitting there looking like, where are we getting that from? Be careful of those people who telling you, you don't need a man, you don't need a woman. Be careful. Men, you have it too. You have men friends who tell you don't settle, who tell you what you doing with that bee. You spend too much time with her. Come hang with us, man. You have pussy whipped. There are people who tell you that stuff. Ain't it true? Ain't it true? Don't you have them? My daughters call them your homies. That's the colloquial term for it today, right? Be careful of those men. Sometimes I think they're on the download because I'm like, why do you always want to spend time around your male friends? Like, what do you get out of it? Don't tell me it's no male bonding. Males go bond once a year, twice a year. They go out in the mountains or whatever. Don't tell me this constant need for being around men is indicative of something else. It is destructive. If they're constantly calling you away from your family life, trust me, it is destructive. And they do it. Any friend you have. When I was dating my ex-boyfriend, when we were together, I remember one time we were supposed to get together and I didn't hear from him. Finally, when we caught up, he said his friend called him on his way home and told him to come look at this thing. And I said, you got to be careful of that. And he said, why? I said, because that friend knew. I said, did you tell him you had to come home because you had to meet me? And he said, yeah. I said, you got to be careful of that. I said, that's a friend who's going to break us up eventually because that friend wants more time with you. And they're trying to pull you away from something good so that they will want to feel miserable and alone. And he couldn't say it. Let me hear what you got to say. The media are masters of putting the weak under a spell, right? Do you see what I'm saying? Be careful. I get passionate about this because we're losing. We're losing too much. People, do you realize there are 15 million people in children in America without fathers? That's an epidemic. And nobody in the Black community, the white community, the Hispanic community, nobody needs to get sensitive about that. Don't start. We don't need to be sensitive. It's a reality of our times. There are 15 million children without fathers. This is the worst Father's Day I've seen in my entire life. For the first time in my life, I see men say that it's a privilege to be a father. You know what they're responding to? They're responding to the negativity and the stereotypes and the incessant messaging that men are not good fathers because they're not there for their children. And the few who are brave and courageous and who love their children outside of themselves are standing there saying, I got to I got to defend the faith. I got to defend the brotherhood. So men were posting all day, what a privilege, and naming their children out. So that there is no mistake that if some chick comes by and says, this is his kid, he's like, nope, I only know these 2 or 3. These right here are the reason I'm a father. And they can say that because their children can back it up and say, yep, that's my dad. That's my father. It's an epidemic. We have to stop it. It's not the government. It's us. The government is like, what do you want me to do? I'm just creating laws to keep the society in check. What are we going to do? It's not just about finding the right person to stay with the right person. It's not just that. It's not just that. It's not that simple. It's that when you're in it, you commit to it and stay with it. So then, if you're not going to like it, don't commit to it. So if you're just going there because your brother, your friend, your homie told you there's that chick over there, man, you want to go check her out, you can get 5 minutes of excitement, make sure you don't leave a child behind you when you exit that door. Hello. And for God's sake, if you like it enough, put a ring on it. Commit to the ring. What is so hard about commitment for men and women? Women too today. Women are talking about how many men they're doing. I'm appalled at this stuff. Settle down. Create one thing. We're stronger that way. Teach the children how to be. All these children wandering. They become wanderers in the emotional playfields of life. Nobody to guide them. They don't have a role model. What's the role model? None. No role model whatsoever. Hello? Crazy stuff. So what happens? Somebody said earlier, Dr. Simpson, hey, dude. Somebody said earlier, it's our pride. The other day, one of my fans, Dr. Simpson, you have to go see this guy, Dr. James Simpson, right? Has 5 children and 9 grandkids. I'll never forget that because I was talking about it last week, talking about something similar, and he said he does a head count. 5 children and 9 grandkids. He knows them. He checks them. They know him. I guarantee you the reason he can go talk about it on Facebook is because what? The 5 children are out there saying, yeah, daddy talking about us. Y'all, dad talking about us. Grandpa is up there watching people. Do you see where I'm coming from? We got to do better at our relationships. Guys and girls, if you don't like it, don't commit to it. If you're only going there because you met in a bar and it's Friday night and you feel like you want to have some, for God's sake, take some precautions so you don't leave a child behind. Hello. If nobody else is going to tell you, let me help you out there. Can I just help you out? And if you make a mistake, get up the next morning, go take the morning after pill. For God's sake, don't leave another child without a father because you're not going to be there. You're not going to be there for the first day of school. One of the things, this is what I don't get. When people are posting about their baby showers, y'all see that, right? It's driving me nuts. People posting about baby showers. I know it's a new thing for this millennial generation, right? And they do this huge baby reveal foolishness. What they call it, gender reveal. Imagine that. You know what you would impress people like me with? I want to see you there in 15 years, dude. 15 years is a long time. I want to see you there in 5 years. I want to see you at kindergarten. I want to see you at PTA meetings. Hello. I want to see you show up when that kid starts going to school when they're 10 and 9 and 10 and 11 and 12. I told my kids the other day, it was Father's Day. I said, let me hear you tell any man, anybody out there, Happy Father's Day. I said, they said, oh, Mom, we would. I said, listen to me very carefully. I said, you needed a father for an entire year. You needed a father when my car was broken down and you needed a ride and we had to call Uber or a Lyft. You needed a father when you needed to go to school. You needed a father when you needed to go to work. And it was me alone and I had to be in 2 places or 3 places all at the same darn time. Divorce sucks. I said, so don't tell anybody out there wanting to play the role of father. They need to be there physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and every other way. I am a mother. I guarantee you, I am there every way. I wasn't just their birth mother. I am their mother, nurturer in chief. You will want to be father in chief every day of that child's life until the day you take your last breath. That's what it takes. Divorce sucks. Don't marry somebody if you ain't feeling like they're going to be it next year. Quit it. Don't fool yourself. Some of you all say, oh my God, I tried this one or tried that one. I'm going to try this one. No, and it will work. Going in, it ain't going to work. Don't do it. I talked to a guy the other day. He was married for maybe about 10 years, I think, 10, 11 years, something like that, right? People talk to me all the time. They tell me stories. I kid you not, right? Dr. Simpson, you know how that works, right? And this guy was telling me, Doc, about his life, right? Folks, you got to understand, right? And his first marriage ended rather acrimoniously. They just couldn't get along. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm listening. So he met someone online. I don't do online dating, folks. Stop it. Stop it. Stop listening to the ads. Stop online dating. Ask your friends for referrals and your family members to introduce you to their friends, their family members. Okay? Stop online dating. He met this person online. They went out to eat. He thought it was it. I said, really? Did you think so? She's the antithesis of everything he wanted. He thought if he tried that, it would work. He knew it wasn't going to work going in. So I said to him, so how long before you are brave enough to tell yourself that this is not going to work? How old are you now? 41. I said, when you turn 45, that's when you're going to say it's not going to work. By then you messed up someone's life. I said, how long? I said, you chose something that you know was not going to work because it's not what you want. You weren't willing to wait. You didn't want to put the work in. So you chose something that is not going to work. And now you're asking yourself, you're not brave enough. I said, so here I am. I'm going to tell you. I said, it's not going to work. And you're going to be 45, almost 49 before you wake up. Hello, somebody. Right? Folks, choose wisely. Don't just, and ladies, for the love of God, let's be guardians of our own selves, yes? The responsibility is equally on us as much as it is with the guys, right? Guard yourself. Guard yourself. Don't just have children. Don't follow this society. These people are reality show stars. They sit down and come up with these plot lines in a room like this and determine what makes sense. You know why I'm not on national TV? The stuff they want me to say and do, I'm like, yeah, you're going to pay me money and I'm going to make a lot of money, but can I live with myself? I want to have peace. I want to do it the right way and have peace. Yeah. I kind of want to feel good about myself. I don't want my kids to cringe when they think of me. Because that's what happens with these folks. Their kids hide out. They don't want to be associated with their mom and dad. They use a whole different name because it makes them feel bad. I'm like, I kind of don't want to do that. Do you see what I'm saying? So how are you going to pattern your life off of a reality show? People watch Basketball Wives and, oh my God, I want to be like that and just do that. Do you not realize that that's a script they come up with? Do you not know that it doesn't really work like that? That they're getting paid for that? This is the reality of living in the reality show era. Dr. Simpson is over there dying with laughter. It is. It is, isn't it? It's the reality of living in the era of the reality shows. All our lives, they tell us this is what your life should be like, and you suck if it doesn't. You so suck. Yeah, you suck if you don't. It's foolishness. Because the reality of the situation is the reality of 15 million children without fathers. And guess what is the worst part? The broken folks who are as lonely as heck, who hook up and have sex with anybody when they get lonely, and who substitute feeling with drugs and sex and alcohol. And that's good? It is not. You don't believe me? When Thanksgiving comes back around, between Thanksgiving and New Year's Day, watch how many people kill themselves or off themselves. Watch how many people take their lives during Valentine's season. And that's when you know how much you value someone. Ladies, if the man is taking care of you and the kids, I don't care what you do. I don't care. You could be a janitor for all I care. He's taking care of the kids and taking care of you. He's not beating you up. He's not beating up the kids. He's not having sex with the next door neighbor's 12-year-old child. He's not watching child pornography online. Think about that. Think about it. Guys, she may not be 34, 24, 36. Is she good for you? She gives you that stable feeling. She makes you feel good. When you're with her, she pumps you up, sends you back out. And you feel like, yeah, I can conquer. Yeah, I'm going to see her tonight. And she's going to do this for me, right? Think about it. That friend you have who is always calling you, man, we're going to go check out this new thing. And the boys are having a game tonight. You want to be a part of it? What boys? Why are you spending so much time around men anyway? Think about that. That's not male bonding. That goes beyond male bonding. You need to sit back and look at it and you'll be like, oh, I shouldn't be here. And girls, the same thing applies. Why is this friend always calling you and say, girl, what you doing over there? Oh, you doing the laundry again? That nigga you have over there, he don't do nothing. Get rid of that one. Stop taking the calls. Every time they call you, I'm busy. I am busy. I'm sorry, honey. I know I just can't catch up. I've been so busy. Hang the phone up. And when you both go home, put the phones down. See? Put it down and talk to one another. How was your day? What happened today? Let them start telling you the story again. Jeez, what? That happened? Are you kidding me? No. Talk to each other. Instead of sending angry texts from work, I hope you get home and cook something. How about what you feel like eating? Can we make something different? How about we pick up a pizza and we just sit down and chill for a bit? I'm really tired. Okay. And learn to give in. It's not always about what you want. Learn to give in. Learn to give in. Give in. Say, okay, a lot more. Then, well, or if you're going to object, say, yeah, okay. Agree in the moment. And then later on, you can talk about it when you calm down. You'll find afterwards that, guess what? It wasn't that important in the first place. But agree in the moment and say, no, okay. Sometimes what happened is we superimpose. I'm just being real and honest, because after the breakup, I had to ask myself, what did I do wrong? Right? Sometimes it was more about ego. It's me. I'm the CEO. You can't talk to me. Don't do that. You're not CEO when you come home, Negro. Once you get in that car and you're on your way home, guess who you are? You're just a person. You're my husband. You're my man. You're my children's father. Okay, so you're Doug. Okay, Doug. Honey, Doug. That's what you are. Okay? Right? And just be real. Like, what we gonna do for din? Yeah, like breakfast. Like, yeah, I came home and I made the beds. Yeah, I did the laundry. I did a load of laundry. I hope I washed your stuff. Organize your lives. Like on some days you do, if there are 5 of you in the house, one day you do socks and underwear, another day you do t-shirts only, another day you do something else. Organize it. And for the love of God in Christ Jesus, I find that people want a flipping medal and an award for everything. Dr. Simpson, talk to me. Ain't that the truth, Willie Mo? Isn't that the truth? Come on, man. Janet Johnson, stay true to yourself. Peter Conquy, y'all. Isn't that true? People look like they won an award and for just going to work. Oh, there's a thing going around now. Grandparents. I'm looking at me because probably I'm headed that way. Because in a few years, people are going to start dropping babies off or something, right? And some rules will apply, right? And what they're saying now is that grandparents are getting worn out. No, grandparents raised children, struggled, worked, and raised children. Now, those children have grown up and they don't want to be parents. They don't want to be parents. So they leave grandma and grandpa to pick up the kids. Then the grandma and grandpa take the kids home, make dinner, and get them ready. So by the time you lazy ass get off work, you pick the kids up barely. You pick them up at 7 o'clock after they've been at grandma's house forever because you got to go hang out with your friends, get your nails done, get this done, go hang with the boys a minute, go have me some me time. What's with this, people? Look, the minute you take on someone else, you got to accept there are some things you're going to give up. I have a 16-year-old. From the day that I was pregnant with that child, my life is not my own. Until she goes to college, then I probably won't have her all day, but there are going to be phone calls. She's going to come home. And then when she's done and she comes home, I have to still be her parent. It's in a different way, but still be there. It's over. The minute you have kids, you don't belong to yourself anymore. The minute you have a spouse, you don't belong to yourself anymore. People go around today and they want a medal for being a parent. They don't want to parent the way they should. So they put the burden on their parents to raise their own kids. So grandparents are getting worn out because they thought they would relax now because they're retired. Instead, they've become a whole new set of parents, picking up kids, dropping kids off because the parents say they're at work. At some point, you're going to have to make a sacrifice. I have a 16-year-old. I had 2 children in 2 different school districts. Like I told you, this was all about me. I'm telling you from the benefit of my mistakes, my missteps, right? So I had 2 children in 2 different school districts. My youngest daughter, every time I had to drop her off in the evening so I could go back to work to keep my job, she would cry. She used to say that one day she sat me down in the back of the car and she said, one day you are going to pick me up from school and you're going to stay home with me. It took a while, but when it did to this day. Do you see what I'm saying? That was a sacrifice. I didn't like it. I didn't want it. But what I recognized was if I had continued working the way that I was, she would not see me at all. It was more important for her to have me present, to provide oversight, instruction, and be a parental safety net. She calls it safety. Safe. She says, I feel secure. I feel secure. Yes. Do you see what I'm saying? Parenting is sacrifice. That's what it is. There's no other way to describe it. It's sacrifice. It's giving off yourself. Can I just be honest with you? If you guys don't have children yet, you're on your way, right? Once you have them, guess what? Your life is not your own. And once you have them, right? Once they come out of you, you're going to love them. Anyway, you can forget about not thinking you're not going to do anything for them. It doesn't work. Can't work. One look and it's over. You hear that voice and it's over. If you have one or you have 20, it's the same thing, right? Once you have them, they belong to you. They're yours. They come out of you. You love them. Love our children. Stay with them. Stay with them. Say, stay with them, right? Stay with them. I'm done. I'm done talking for the day. I'm done. That's what divorce did to me. It sucked. It practically destroyed my children. I hurt watching them needing a father who chose to be absent because of ego, because he wouldn't listen when I told him to stop beating me up. I couldn't live there. I cried. And my daughter, I had to tell him, you're putting her through issues watching me being torn apart, choosing between mommy and daddy. Do you see what I'm saying? It hurt. It hurt. Right? So, come back to center. Love, love, love. If you love it, stay with it, commit to it. If you're just having sex because it's a good thing, don't have children. Do not have children. Don't bring them here. Don't hurt them like that. And more importantly, don't hurt yourself. Right? Find somebody. Stay with that person. Build something. It will benefit you in the long run. You'll be happier. You'll be better. Right? Because when it's gone, you feel like your sense of belonging. Suddenly you realize that this was important to you as a human being. As a human being, it's part of our nature to feel like we belong to something. Suddenly it's not there anymore. The disconnect happens. Right? All right. Thanks so much. I love you. Again, this was my story. If you've read Through the Fire, you know what I'm talking about, right? This was my story. It was very painful, right? And I want you to know that having come over and crossed over to this side, now that I'm looking back at it, I'm like, you know something, I got to tell everybody the mistakes that I made so it doesn't happen to you, right? That's all this is about. That's all it's about. Divorce sucks, but you don't. And you're going to make the best choice, the choice that's best for you, the choice that works for you, and so on. Love. It's a beautiful thing. Find it, nurture it, water it every day, and keep it. All right? Thanks so much, everybody. I love you. Be blessed, right? See you tomorrow. See you. Bye. Bye. Thanks, Doc. See you soon, right? Bye. I love you, Jesus. Hallelujah. Just want to tell you how much I love you.